And we're here live in the Irish Hills of Michigan for race 2 of 8 of the Super Speedway Saturday Night Series, brought to you by ITSR and Checkered Flag Interactive. I'm Steve Bonesteel with my buddy Chris Largen in the booth for 80 laps of awesome racing at this awesome 2-mile track.
Yeah, and this week we're going to be seeing quite a bit different racing than we did last week. This is still a very high-speed track, not as fast as Daytona, but Michigan's always a good track that provides great racing.
Yeah, that's for sure. And this is also noticeable. Going from a super speedway such as Talladega Daytona, we've also lost a couple drivers this week, so it might just be that track scared some people away.
Yeah, maybe, but that'll be exciting for sure. We've got a lot of guys that are, I think, we can see right up front. One thing that surprised me is our points leader is not here this week, Greg Hooks.
And luckily for him, there is one drop week in this series, and most likely he'll be using it for this week. Later on this season, we're also going to Auto Club, a track that some people might not even have. So they're either going to have to take 2 weeks and have 1 week done and have no points, or they'll have to wait and make sure they attend every other race so they can have their drop week at Auto Club.
Yeah, and I think we're going to go through the starting lineup right now as the cars roll off the grid. Starting first is the number 3 car, Brandon Chibirko. Starting second is the 76 of Frank Busilia III. Starting third is Brian Harvey. Starting fourth is Jason Oltmans, and starting fifth is Doug Roth.
Coming out of the top 5, we've got the number 14 of Josh Chaney, last season's champion. And in 7th place, we've got the number 1 of Blair Jolie. In 8th, we've got Douglas Wyatt in the number 5. In 9th, we've got the number 26 of Jose Gonzalez, who wrecked out early last week due to a blown motor. And rounding out the top 10, we've got the number 22 of Joey Piccolella. And from there, we've got 2 cars actually, that did not qualify. The number 4, CJ LeVere, and the number 13 of Stephen Herring.
Yeah, and they're coming down the back stretch. Like I said earlier, should be an exciting race, 80 laps. Long time, so I think early on we'll see these guys, take it easy, but we'll be going for it at the end.
Yep, no reset, so, you get what you get, and you definitely don't have a fit if you wreck yourself early. You did it to yourself with 12 cars on the track. Watch your P's and Q's, make it to the end, and hopefully you'll get a top 5 or even a win.
Yeah, and the pace car's coming off of turn 4, and we're about to get the green flag.
And with that, the pace car will dive in. Everyone gets ready to go. The number 3's got it. And we will be going green, green, green. Here we go.
And, it looks like Frank Busilia, the second place car, got a pretty good start with him. It looks like Brandon Chibirko is going to have a little bit of an advantage, and the 51 is going to follow him and pass the 76 car.
They'll be riding that inside line for a little while here until the tires wear out. That inside line will propel you around the track, but once your tires wear out, you're going to see drivers fanning out to the high side and the middle lanes, and that'll be where the speed comes in as the run goes along here.
Yeah, it looks like the 51's already making a move for the lead here, but yeah, and he might be able to get by him off of turn 4. They're dead even coming down the front stretch.
And here we are 2 by 2, and we're not even at Daytona or Talladega, but going into turn number 1, the number 51 will be getting the lead by the number 3, and as they battle for 5th position behind him, and a little bit of contact between the 14 and the number 76.
And right now we got a pretty good battle going on for 3rd place with the 76 and 66 car. 66 might have a slight advantage going into the corner.
And right now, things are really close right there for that position. And it's just you give and take, and sometimes you're going to take, and then the 76 gets into the wall. He took a little bit too much right there.
Yeah, right now these guys are running right with each other. It's pretty exciting.
Yeah, the times in practice and qualifying were really close. The top 5 were just separated by thousandths or hundredths of a second. So this will be really competitive in the top 5 and probably the top 10 completely.
Yeah, that's for sure. And our next battle is for 4th with the 76 and 43 car, and it looks like we're gonna have a battle for the lead here, but 51's gonna stay in front.
Not sure how long that will last, but you never know. All it takes is one slip out of the groove and you've got someone down below you up high, maybe even 3 wide, and you just got to back out and let them have it. But if you keep your stuff fresh and, you know, stay in the battle all race long, you'll be there when it counts.
Yeah, and right now Brandon Chibirko running right on the back of the 51 car. I'm not sure if he's just waiting for the right opportunity to pass or if he's just okay riding right there.
But again, just remember, all of these drivers, they're great drivers on the track. We've seen them week in and week out, and while we've seen them at super speedway tracks where it doesn't require as much braking and whatnot as you would at another track, this is a track where you can definitely show off your talent and show people what you've got, but you also got to watch for other people, because just like any other race, someone's other crap can take you out of the race.
Yeah, and we just saw the 66 car of Brian Harvey try to make a move on the 3 of Brandon Chibirko. Wasn't quite able to get it done, but he's not going to try for it again in 3. He might not have been close enough.
And that 3-car battle for the lead is actually bringing the number 76 of Frank Busilia into that battle, and it looks like within the next couple laps it'll be 4 cars up there in that lead pack.
Yeah, and the 66 is going to get into the 2nd spot, and he's going to move up to 2nd. Jason Altman's still leading.
And it looks like Brandon Chibirko, what he's doing is saving his stuff, because this is a track where once your tires start to get worn out and you slide that right rear, you're going to get loose coming off of turn 1 or turn 2 especially, and that'll cost you dearly, as the number 66 will take over the lead going into turn 3 and 4.
And right now, the 76 is going to make the move for 3rd right behind the 51.
They got a little bottled up right there, and that drew the 14 of Josh Cheney right into that pack. So now we've got 5 cars up there within just half a second of each other.
And I think if they keep battling like this, that might allow the 43 car to catch up. Here's, we saw the battling has allowed other cars to catch up.
And you just got to ask yourself, how long will this last? Because someone eventually might slip up or something, and then, you just got to be careful, watch everyone else, because when it comes down to it, does it matter if you have 1st place on lap 7 or 8?
Yeah, I mean, right now these guys are just, minding their own business, not getting too aggressive early on, but, so they're doing a good job, and the 51's going to make a move for the lead.
Yeah, going down that backstretch, the side draft does play a part in getting that run going into the corner. Just like it would at other tracks, you get that side draft and it propels you right to the front bumper, and from there you're even dead on in the corner, and whoever's got the prevailing line will most likely be the leader coming off the corner, as the number 66 will stay high on the front stretch and a couple drivers dive underneath of him.
Yeah, and right now the 76 is going to be on the inside of our leader, and the 51's going to clear him, but it's a pretty good battle.
And just as you said, all this battling at the front is bringing in the number 43. About 3 laps ago, he was a 1.5 seconds behind, and now he's drawn up to just under a second going into turn 3 and 4 as another battle for the lead, and the number 76 of Frank Busilia will take the lead, and the 14 gets a little loose. 3 has to go low. Everyone's good.
Yeah, sometimes you can get pretty loose at this track if you maybe get a little too low. Not sure what happened there, but good thing everybody just did a good job not crashing.
And again, just as you said, the 43 is there, and now it's 6 cars up front.
And right now, we've got a couple cars riding a little bit behind, but they might have just be taking it easy, waiting for the end. See if anything does happen with this front pack.
And I'm surprised. I've seen a lot of bump draft on the backstretch, and with this race being so early, I'm surprised to see it. The 76 of Frank Basili has been on the number 66 the last lap, and he gave him a push down the backstretch. And I saw the number 43 do it when he got to the back of the 3 car.
Ooh, and we're 3 wide for the lead right now as the 51 got very loose, and see this 66 gonna have a little advantage, but looks like 76 is gonna have the run off.
And things are going to get really close coming off of the corner. He had a chance to take it 4 wide, but he didn't do it. But the number 14 is on the bottom, putting it 3 wide going into turn 1 and 2, and we're 3 wide behind them as well as the 43 backs out to allow it go 2 wide.
I have had quite a bit of 3 wide battling for the lead that last lap, and 14's going to come back and make a move, and we're going to be 3 wide if the 66 will, no, just 2 wide.
See, this is the wonderful thing about this track. You can get amazing 2 and 3 wide racing, and you know what? There's even room at times on the backstretch and even in the corners to take it 4 wide. This track can provide some of the greatest racing out on the sim, really, I think, and in real life. It's just one of the fun tracks to watch, really high speeds, and everyone just seems to have a good time here. And personally, I enjoy racing at Michigan. I don't know about you.
Yeah, this is a pretty unique track. I enjoy racing here just because of the high speeds and fun track.
As we see some more 3 wide back there at the end of that lead pack, and the number 30, Brandon Chiburko, he's kind of in the middle. I think he's trying to, let everyone by and just save his stuff, but he's having a hard time. Everyone's going 3 wide on him, and he's getting pushed in the middle on the high side. He's just like, oh my gosh, I'm in the cat seat. I just want to sit here for a while.
Yeah, I mean, right now, as long as Brandon Chiburko hangs on to this little pack we have up here, he just has to wait till the end to make his move, or he might just want to go ahead and try to get up there now.
Coming off of turn 1 and 2, the 51 of Jason Altman's, he clipped that outside wall and it scrubbed off a lot of speed. It doesn't look like he has any damage, but he definitely lost the lead pack, and now there's only 5 cars up there. And Frank Busilia has about a 1/4 of a second lead off of the number 14 of Josh Cheney. And this could be the point of the race where people start to break away from the packs as tires wear, and drivers, they break into their rhythm and they start to run consistent laps, lap in and lap out.
And right now we're going to have a battle for 4th. The 66 is going to try to make a move on Brandon Chiburko. Looks like Brandon Chiburko is going to keep that spot.
And just as I said, a lot of drivers were using that bottom line early on when they had the grip. But now that the tires have started to wear and heat up, that middle line and even the high line has been providing some of the best momentum catching, so that even if someone does try to break low on you, you're going to have the momentum off of the corner. You're going to be able to defend your spot and keep the position.
Yeah, and looks like Josh Cheney might have gained a little bit in the last lap. Just getting closer to Frank Busilia, might be able to draft up there and get the lead.
Yeah, now he's just about a car length off of the number 76, and it looks like probably before he gets to turn 1 and 2, if he keeps digging in the middle of the corner the way he is, he'll be to his bumper. And what I've been noticing, he's been letting off a little bit later, and he's been digging down lower in the corner, and he's been seeming to get a little bit more momentum off of the corners, but this time coming off of turn 4, he seems to have lost a little bit of ground.
Right now, Brandon Chiburko has about made a move for 3rd, but just decided to ride behind the 43.
And again, that brings it up again. You see that bump drafting, and it's really being quite effective. The number 66 and the number 3, they pushed all the way up to the number 43 when they were about a 1/4 of a second behind him, and now they're right up to his bumper. You never know, that might be something that you can work out with someone instead of passing them and losing the time you have. Wait a couple laps, give them a push, get up to the lead pack, and, then make your moves, then race it out, do what you got to do.
Yeah, right now, like you said, I think they're just trying to draft each other up to the top two here, and then make their moves for it. But Brandon Chabirko is going to go ahead and he's going to try to pass the 43 car for that third spot.
And I don't think Doug Roth will fight him too hard for it going into turn 3 and 4. He'll probably just be able to let off and give the number 3 the position. It looks like the 66 will follow him right along with it as the 43 just lets them both go down low.
Yeah, I mean, right now where they're just a little bit behind. If they try battling, they then risk losing the top two cars. So right now, just need to ride single file.
And right now we've got two other packs of two cars. We've got in sixth position, we've got the number 51 of Jason Altman's. He's being followed very closely by the 26 of Jose Gonzalez. And then back a couple more seconds, we've got Stephen Herring and the number 1 of Blair Jolie. They're about 6 seconds off of that lead pack and then we've got the last car out there, Joey Piccolella. He's about 10 seconds off. Not sure what happened to him. Maybe he's just laying back for a while. But we've got all 11 cars still running.
Yeah, I mean, it's always good to see when we have all our cars on track. Maybe we have a few guys just, wait until the end for it. Maybe taking the chance that the front pack has a little mistake or something along the lines of that.
Well, yeah, definitely. A caution will bring you back into it 10 seconds behind or not. As soon as the caution comes out, you're strung back together, make your pit stops, and give it another shot once the green flag drops.
And it'll be interesting to see when these guys have to make their pit stops. They only have 75% fuel. With a full tank of gas, you can go about 45 laps, so I'd say probably around lap 37.
And going into turn 1 and 2, the number 14 dove low on the number 76, and actually coming off of the corner, he will take the lead going down the backstretch. And it looks like the 14 will keep the position going through 3 and 4, and the number 3 of Brandon Chabirko. He's coming up on that couple lead cars, and it looks like it will be a battle for second place within a lap or two.
Yeah, now it's kind of singled out to a 4-car pack. It looks like the 43 of Doug Roth has lost touch with those 4 cars up there.
And as we are halfway through lap 22, I do believe this will be a good time for our first commercial break of the night. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back for more green flag action at Michigan International Superspeedway. And we're here back, and things have heated up at the front. We've got a four-car battle for the lead. Brandon Trabirko and the number 66 of Brian Harvey. They've just caught the number 14 and the number 76 of Frank Busilia. And now the 3 is on his bumper. He's pushing him going in turn 3 and 4. And the number 14 stuck up high, losing the spot to Brandon Trabirko as well. And the number 66 of Brian Harvey's also looking to take it away from him. But the 14 will have the run off of the corner. I think he might be able to keep the spot, but I'm not too sure on it as they go down the front stretch.
Yeah, and right now the 3 is just going to push the 76 down the front stretch, and the 14 is going to come around on the outside, try to get to second. That's not going to work.
Yeah, he got a little bit high going through the corner, right out of that upper edge of the groove, and that's going to cost him the spot. He's going to have to dive behind Brian Harvey, give him a shove, and it looks like he's going to break away from those first couple cars. They're going to have a little bit of making up to do here. And let's take the time to go on board with the second place car of Brandon Trabirko.
And he's going to make the pass on 76 for the lead. I just now realized Jason Altman's just came down pit road and is exiting the pits.
And it did look like he had a little bit of a longer stop, so probably earlier when he scrubbed the wall he did get a couple seconds of damage. But it looks like his car's still good aerodynamically wise, so he might be back in the battle once things, if we have a caution, he gets the wave round. But actually, I take that back, he's just now disconnected. And we're looking back right now at the number 76 off of Brandon Trabirko's car. The 76 looking low, looking high. Is he going to make the move? Nope, not yet.
Yeah, the 76 is just going to push him down the front stretch. Maybe see if they can pull away from the guys behind him.
And it doesn't look like they're going to make too much of a move. But really, this is pretty interesting. Everyone is racing really well right now, and everyone's so fast, and they're really equal, and the caution flag is out.
Looks like the 5 car of Douglas White. This looks like he maybe got loose on the apron coming out of pit road.
Yeah, coming out of pit road, he got loose. He clipped the grass, came back up the track, and hard into the outside wall. Yeah, that was bad.
And I mean, I'd say that works out for our leaders because I'd say most of them are fairly close to making a pit stop. As we said earlier, they only have 75% fuel.
Yeah, it really sucks for Douglas Wyatt, though. He's had a pretty fast car tonight. It wasn't braking fast, but it was something that could have kept him in contention at the end of the race. But now with no resets and no quick toes, none of that junk, chances are he won't be able to pull much of anything unless some other people wreck.
Yeah, and right now, I mean, I would expect everybody come down pit road, get 4 tires and fuel.
Yeah, with this, that might be right in range for one more pit stop in the race, and after that, they'll be good to go to the green or the checkered flag from that second pit stop.
Yeah. And right now we're getting close to the pit stalls. It'll be interesting to see if there is any strategy played, like 2 tires.
And honestly, I really don't think we'll see any of that. But hopefully we don't see any black flags, because that will cost you dearly here, especially with runs that we're having right now. We had a 30-lap run, and if you get a black flag and go half a lap or a lap down, you're pretty much screwed unless the caution comes out.
And Brandon Trabirko is going to win the battle off of pit road with Brian Harvey second, Frank Busilia coming out third, Jose Gonzalez coming out fourth, and Josh Cheney fifth.
And as everybody comes back up to the pace car, it's probably another good time to come back, take a bathroom break, and we'll be under commercial for a couple minutes here. Welcome back to Checkered Flag Interactive, lap 32 of 80 at Michigan International Superspeedway. We'd like to thank our sponsors tonight, Coro's Contracting. If you're ever in upstate New York, check them out for all of your electrical needs. We'd also like to thank Axo Sanitary Services. If you're in the New Jersey area, check them out for your sanitary needs. And we'd also like to thank Hippie's Paint Shop, some of the best schemes you'll see on the sim. Quick, quality paint jobs. Check them out on Facebook, facebook.com/Hippies Paint Shop. And before we came back to the action, the number 76 and the number 3 of Brandon Chiburko, they both dove down pit lane, topped off on their gas, and now they'll be at the tail end of this small pack right here.
I think they might have came in because they might have thought if they just gone from where they were, it'd be close on fuel, but right now we're about to go green.
And the pace car dives in, and there's a little bit of contact between the leader and the guy in the second row on the inside line. Josh Cheney, he was ready to go, but the leader was not.
Yeah, and Brian Harvey got a decent jump on the field, but it looks like Josh Cheney's going to get run on him and turn one.
And things definitely spread out pretty quickly here. Looking back, the number 3 is diving underneath of the 22 of Joey Piccolella. He got into his back bumper going through 1 and 2, gave him a little bit of damage, but everyone's okay. And looks like they'll be coming with a full head of steam through 3 and 4.
Yeah, and right now it looks like the top 3 have separated themselves from everybody else.
And they've got their ducks in a line, it looks like. They've definitely separated themselves. And Jose Gonzalez, someone we top 5 most of the night, he's finally up in the top 3. He's up by the lead, and he might be there to battle it out once it comes down to it.
Yeah, and as we saw earlier, though, sometimes these packs, if they get battling too hard, that could allow some of these other guys to catch up to them.
Yeah, and you don't want to battle too hard too early because that will wear your stuff out. And at a track like this where there's so much speed involved, if you start to wear your stuff out, heat up your tires too much, you might send yourself back slower than everyone else. And it might not seem like a lot, but a tenth a lap can cost you dearly, especially at a place like Michigan.
Yeah, and it looks like the 13 car of Stephen Herring has caught up to this pack, and looks like Doug Groth is also catching them.
And going through 1 and 2, we saw some contact between Josh Cheney and Brian Harvey. Josh Cheney did the smart thing and backed off right as he got to that bumper, but that allowed the 26 and the 13 to bunch right up on his bumper. But coming through 3 and 4, he flies through the corner right back to Brian Harvey's bumper, and the 43 is there as well. 5-car battle for the lead, or 5-car battle up at the front in this pack.
And it looks like Braden Chibirko is also catching this pack, and so that'll put this pack up to 6 cars.
And this is a lot like what we saw the first run. We saw a couple cars break away for a couple laps, but slowly and surely 1 or 2 cars would bring themselves up to the lead pack, and there they were pretty soon, and they had 6 cars, and then tires start to wear out, someone got in the wall, and then the pack got thinned out again, and there was only 4 cars up there. But you never know, this might be a recurring thing.
Yeah, and I think maybe some of these drivers are, maybe since we're getting close to the second half of the race, are maybe being a little bit more aggressive, trying to stay up in the front, and just so they can't be there for me.
Yeah, definitely, especially if we have green flag pit stops. Your position on the track will matter a lot. And if you make a mistake coming down in pit road, you're not going to need to want to have to push it. If you're in the lead pack, you can take, the extra half a second to maybe slow down extra. But if you have to chase someone down, you might take a little more than you can get, and you'll end up with a black flag.
And right now it looks like Jose Gonzalez was going to try to make a move for the lead, and 66 is still going to keep that position. The 14 is going to try to get second.
And the number 3, Brandon Chaburko's also looking under the number 14. He's probably going to be able to make the pass through the corner, and he does. His next target, Jose Gonzalez.
And I think Brandon Chaburko either restarted 6th or 7th, and he's already made his way back up to 3rd, so definitely shows that he's got a pretty fast car tonight.
Yeah, he navigated a little bit better than Frank Busilia did. The number 76, he's just now coming up towards the bumper of the 43 of Doug Roth, and he actually was able to start in front of Brandon Chaburko, and they started actually back in 8th and 9th. They did dive down pit road and top off on gas, so they've got a little more gas than everyone else out there, and that might play a couple laps of difference, but you're still going to need to make at least one pit stop.
Yeah, and like I said earlier, I think maybe the 3 and 76 came down and topped off because they didn't think from the lap they originally pit on they couldn't make it on one more stop, so maybe they just felt better topping off.
Either way, they did what they did, and the number 76 is now diving under the 43 of Doug Roth, and he will be making his way into the top 5, probably, but Doug Roth is going to hold him off on the outside of this corner, and we'll see how that shakes out.
Yeah, and right now it looks like Brandon Chaburko is going to move, or try to make the move into 2nd place, and he might be able to clear him, and I think now he's going to be on the inside for the lead.
Yeah, he's definitely running his car right now for all he's got. He is making some great moves on the track, and he's running some outstanding lap times. This is a lot of fun to watch him making these moves, but Brian Harvey, he's still up in front, so that means everyone behind him, they have to work even harder to get around him, because right now he's setting the pace, and even if you are making the moves, you got to make sure you got what you got to have to get the lead and get the win, and looks like now Brian Harvey's being consistent and staying out of trouble.
Yeah, and the 14's going to try to look inside for the 2nd position. And it looks like they're going to stay next to each other. It gets a little bit loose, and Brandon Chaburko is going to hold on to the spot.
And again, you make the tiniest little slip-up, and someone's underneath you making the pass. Not much of a slip-up. You saw the 14 just get a little bit wiggly off the corner, and 26, Jose Gonzalez, just drove right underneath of him and cleared him on the backstretch.
And right now it looks like, that was a little close moment there for the lead, and Brandon Chaburko is going to try to make the move on the outside.
Yeah, interesting enough, it didn't really look like Brian Harvey blocked him. That's how he's been running lap after lap. The number 26 almost gets the quarter panel of the number 3. He gets a little bit loose, and he's going to look low on the backstretch.
Yeah, and like you said, it looks like that was the line Brian Harvey has been running. It looks like maybe Brandon Chaburko is going to try to make a move down there, but we'll see what he does this lap.
And he's almost got his nose underneath of him, but this time Brian Harvey's not going to go all the way down there. But everyone else is going to go down there. They're going to line up, and it looks like they might start passing him one by one if he can't get the momentum and get clear of Brandon Chaburko.
Yeah, the one advantage Brandon Chaburko has right now is he's got the 26 and the 76 following him. That might give him the little extra push to get by him, but it looks like the 66 is going to maybe get a little bit more of an advantage.
Yep, that outside line will keep you ahead of them. Not sure if it'll do you good in the long run, but as long as you're on the outside and you have the momentum, you can usually stay in front of someone a little bit longer than you would if you were stuck on the inside and they were able to pin you down.
And right now, looks like he might have gotten a little too high there, and Brandon Chaburko is going to move into the lead.
He's going to think about doing the crossover. He's going to get his bumper right to his quarter panel. Not sure if he's going to be able to get underneath of him. It looks like he will be able to. Now he's going to take his turn on the low line, and the number 3 will let off. He's going to think about doing the crossover. He's not going to think about it. He's going to do the crossover. It's not going to work, though. He's going to come up to the quarter panel, and we're right where we were last lap.
Yeah, Brian Harvey's gonna get back in the lead. It was interesting to see Brandon Chabirko try the very bottom there. Haven't seen a lot of cars down there tonight.
I was simply surprised to see that aggressive move. The crossover is a very great tool to use at the end of the race, but we're 46 laps in. Simply what that does is piss off the other drivers.
Yeah, and right now looks like we got a pretty good battle going on for the third place position as Jose Gonzalez and Frank Buscilla are going to battle, and Josh Cheney's right there with them.
And the number 3 is all over the back of Brian Harvey's car, and he's looking high, looking low, trying to get a nose up on him. He just can't really get that nose up on him to get the side draft to get underneath of him. He's looking down low, up high, again and again. He just doesn't quite get what he needs to make the pass.
Yeah, and right now he's going to pull to the inside and might be able to run it. It seems like, though, the higher line has proven to work out better, but Brandon Chabirko is going to get a nose ahead of him and might be able to clear him off the corner.
But right now, one thing is, you have to watch everyone around you. Frank Buscilla is making moves. He doesn't care if they're too wide for the lead in front of him. He's looking low, he's looking high. He's just like everyone else. He's trying to get everything he can get while he still can. But it's getting so close. This is amazing racing up front right now.
Yeah, and the other good thing is they are keeping it clean. They are getting kind of aggressive, but they are keeping it clean, which provides great racing.
The number 26 slips up going through the corner, sends Frank around, and the caution flag is out. Man, right there, Jose Gonzalez went down low on Frank Buscilla in the corner. He drifted up just enough to clip him on the door, and around he went hard into the outside wall in 3 and 4.
Yeah, it looks like the 26 may have drove it in there a little bit harder, but just sometimes it's one of those things that just happens.
And ironically, just as you said, they were driving smart and driving clean, something like that happened, something definitely avoidable, and I'm not too sure Frank's too happy about that.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, if you're the one on the bad end of the deal, it is very frustrating.
Yeah, Jose Gonzalez didn't get hardly any damage. I don't really see any at all, actually, so fortunately for him, he walks away clean. Unfortunately for Frank Buscilla, he does not. But, however, most of everyone's going to dive down pit road right now, except for the number 3 of Brandon Chabirko. So, I think this will put everyone right to the point where they can probably make it on one run. And I need to correct myself, Brandon Chabirko, he did dive down pit road. It was Blair Jolie in the number 1 that did not.
Yeah, right now, I mean, I think all these guys should be good to go on fuel, because when they looked like they were pretty close to pit stops when we had our first caution was around lap 30.
Not sure why Blair Jolie stayed out, maybe to lead a lap. Not quite sure if you get the bonus point here in this series, but he might just have something up his sleeve. I don't know. And as everyone catches up to the pace car once again, we will take this time to go off to a commercial. We'll let you know what happens while we're away. And welcome back. We're on lap 52 coming to 53, and we are doubled up ready to take the green flag. While we were away, everyone but the number 66 of Brian Harvey dove down pit road once again to get some fuel. And for the number 1, he got tires as well, and he led a lap before coming down. Jose Gonzalez was given the ELL penalty for causing the last caution, and he'll be diving down pit road for some reason right now as we go green.
Looks like the 66 is going to get a good jump, and looks like everybody else is going to... The 3 might have spun his tires, and everybody's just single file right now.
And that changed real quick right there. We were 2 wide all the way through the field, and now we're single file spread out.
Yeah, but from what we've seen earlier, I think, and Brandon Chibirko is going to pull low, trying to make a move for the lead, and he might be able to get done.
Not wasting any time to make your moves. Just under 30 laps to go. I guess now is the perfect time to start shaking and baking, making your moves, get to the front.
Yeah, it's getting down to the later stages of the race, and you're definitely going to want to find yourself up front.
And as the leaders go through 1 and 2, there's Jose Gonzalez on the bottom, and they make contact. Brian Harvey in the wall. No caution as of yet. Not sure if we will have one, but he almost comes down in front of the 22 of Joey Piccolella. Wow.
Yeah, Brandon Chibirko just got a little loose, and Brian Harvey was just in wrong place at the wrong time.
Yep, he is definitely done for the night. Even if he gets his damage repaired, that's going to cost him. If he runs, he'll at least get a 9th place finish, but I don't know. That really sucks. But just as I was going to say, you don't want to push it too hard because you still have to make it to lap 80.
Yeah, and doesn't seem to have hurt Brandon Chibirko's car any at all. He's still at 3rd. He did lose the lead from it, but from what we've seen from him tonight, I think he'll get back up there.
And one thing's for sure, though, that could have been a lot worse than it was, especially with the pack being right there. And assuming we had a 20-car field up in the front, in that front pack, that could have been a 10-car accident. If you get shoved up into the wall, shove someone else in the wall, someone else would have went around, and that could have been a mess. So in the grand scheme of things, that turned out okay for the rest of the field.
Yeah, and right now, they're just riding. It looks like Brandon Chibirko wants to make that move for 2nd place, just hasn't had the right opportunity yet.
And I would like to mention the number 13 of Stephen Herring. He hasn't been really in the mix all night long, and I'm not sure if it's by choice, but right now he's in the cat seat. He's watching, and I think he's lurking, just waiting to make his move.
Yeah, and right now Doug Roth leading the race, and Josh Chaney's got a pretty good run on, but he's just gonna ride behind him.
And you have to ask yourself too, how long will that last? How many times are you gonna stay behind the guy in front of you when you at least think you're faster than him? As the number 3 gets right on Josh Chaney's bumper and gets loose, goes down low, and number 43 goes up high, and it looks like we'll have that passed for 2nd place going through 1 and 2.
Yeah, and Brandon Chibirko not wasting any time, trying to make his moves for the lead. He has proven tonight that he is one of the fastest cars, and he is going to make his move for the lead.
And that makes it a tough choice for Josh Chaney because he knows the 43 is stuck up high. Does he want to dive down low, stick his nose down there? And it looks like he will right now. The 43 is just going to let them both by. But when someone gets shoved up high, the question you always have to ask yourself is, do I want to take the chance and put myself in the position to go past him as well, or do I just want to wait and watch everything play out?
Yeah, and we have a little bit of over 20 laps left. Not a whole lot of time, but still, I think you still have a little bit of time to make your move.
Oh yeah, with 20 laps left in this race, anything can happen, and you definitely want to make sure you're on the good end of that anything that's going to happen, because when it comes down to it, you've just wasted an hour of your time to wreck yourself in the last 20 laps. So I think everyone's going to keep their heads screwed on nice and tight, and I think we're going to see some tight racing once we start getting to the lap 70 part. But I don't know about you, but I think my race winner tonight, I'm picking Josh Chaney. I know Brandon Chibirko, he's fast and he's definitely making some great moves, but I got my eyes set right now on the number 14 of Josh Chaney.
Yeah, right now I think I'm going to go with Brandon Chibirko. I think he's shown that he's got a fast car, and he can make some moves to get to the lead, but anything can happen.
Yeah, coming off a 4 right there, you see him get a little bit loose. That could be a sign of things to come, definitely.
Yeah, we are at 20 to go, so might see guys maybe get a little bit more racy, but like you said, I think it's going to be around lap 70 mark when we really see guys going for it.
Yep, for sure. But really things have spread out. Aside from the 3 cars up front, we've got a 3-second gap between 4th and 5th, Blair Jolie, and then another 3 seconds behind him to the 6th place car of Joey Piccolella, and then another 18 seconds back from the leaders is Frank Busilia, who ended up getting into a little bit of trouble earlier.
Yeah, and one thing to keep, Brandon Chibirko has to keep in mind, this will be a pretty good points night for him if he just keeps it clean to the end, since our points leader Greg Hooks didn't show up. So maybe he might just take it easy and go for the points, but from the way it seems, he's going to go for the win.
Yeah, and with the amount of cars that are actually not here tonight, and for the few that have actually wrecked out, a few of these drivers, and even if they do end up getting themselves into trouble, finishing 7th is still a pretty good points night when half the field isn't even here.
Definitely, and 14 of the 3, I think it started pulling away from the 43 car a little bit, but so it might just be a 2-car battle here at the end, but you never know.
Again, my pick, the number 14. I'm liking what he's doing. I think he might have a little bit of speed that he's not showing us quite yet. I think he's just waiting, and when it comes down to it, probably lap 75 or even a little bit sooner, I think you might see him start looking low, looking high, and wearing out the number 3 of Brandon Chibirko. Because right now, he's making Brandon give it everything he's got, and that could cost Brandon quite a bit too. You could end up getting yourself into the wall, getting loose, wearing out your tires. I think the 14's in the best position.
Yeah, I mean, right now, like you said, he's just riding behind, waiting for the right time to make his move. I think if he wanted to make it now, he could, but he's just waiting for the right opportunity.
But definitely that number 3 car is fast, and we've seen him up front all night long. He's been able to go from 10th place almost all the way to the lead within about 5-6 laps. So he's definitely got something under that hood and inside that car. But I think people are pretty even tonight. These drivers have had a great race so far, and this has been a pretty fun race to watch as well.
Yeah, they've definitely put a good show on, and yeah, it does seem like, though, as we were talking about earlier, the top 2 separating themselves, they've put over a 1-second gap on the 3rd place car of Doug Roth.
And you see, going into turn 3 and 4 and going into 1 and 2, the 14's able to pull up right on Brandon Chibirko's bumper, and you do that too many times, you might just get a little bit of contact going, and that could be an accident. For sure. You get into him a little too hard, especially at 180, 185 miles an hour. That'll get him loose, get him in the wall, and that will not look good on your end, especially now as the 14 looks low on the number 3, and he'll go to the bottom side in 3 and 4. And Chibirko, he's going to look at the crossover. Is he going to make it? He's going to get close, but he's not going to get all the way underneath of him.
And I think Brandon Chibirko is going to try to get back up there as soon as he can, as we get, I think right now we're about 14 laps to go, so you definitely want to start, getting a little bit more racy.
Yeah, now's the time to give it what you got, because, it's checkers or wreckers, I guess, when you got to look at it in the grand scheme of things. You either win when you're up there, or you're going to come second, and I guess maybe you got to think of it like this. You either win or you lose.
Yeah, and Brandon Chibirko is going to reclaim the lead, but the 14 car, I know he's not going to give up on it, and he's going to come back to the inside, and he's going to try to come back to the lead.
Yep, the crossover is, again, a very powerful tool to use as a race car driver. But as they use it, they're going to see this lap down car of the number 26 of Jose Gonzalez. He's going to get up in the mix. I'm not sure how he's going to let it shake out up there, or if they're going to let him by or what. But right now, he's not in the worst position if a caution were to come out. I don't think it will. But assuming that there's a chance that it could, he's not in a terrible position.
Yeah, and right now we are having a great battle up front. Brandon Chibirko looks like he's just going to ride behind the 14 on the front stretch. He might be waiting until a couple more laps to actually try to get back into the lead.
And simply riding behind him might be an understatement, as he shoves his nose right into the back of Josh Chaney to do some bumper humping right down on the apron on that front stretch. It's interesting to watch, but I don't know. I'm not sure what I think of that quite yet.
Yeah, and we got 12 to go. So, these guys, we've said, getting late stages, time to give it all you have and go for the win.
And as I said, the number 26 of Jose Gonzalez, he is there. I'm not sure what he's going to do with it. He's not racing for position, so I'm not sure how he's going to handle it. I'm not sure how they're going to handle it.
Yeah, right now Jose is in a position where, he's the only car one lap down, so if the caution were to come out, he'd get the lucky dog, so maybe he'll just stay behind these guys and let them battle it out for the win.
Yeah, really, the thing is, though, he's the fastest car on the track. For a while, after he came down pit road, he was about 2-3 seconds back from these guys, and I know they've been battling really hard, but he's been able to close right up on them. And right now, he's not putting any pressure on either of them, but he's riding and he's watching. He's in the cat seat.
And right now, Brandon Chibirko is going to clear the 14 car for the lead. 14 might look like he might have had a run, but Brandon Chibirko is still going to stay in the lead.
And coming down the backstretch, he's going to get the side draft to pull up door to door to him, going through 3 and 4. And that outside line has been proving to be okay if you're defending your position, but it seems to be pretty tough to make passes on the outside.
Yeah, and right now, Josh Chaney might try maybe going a little bit lower, but, at this point, though, you also got to try to pass where you can.
And the laps are definitely running out. We're on lap 72 of 80, just 8 laps to go at this event tonight, and things are coming down to the wire. And the 14, he's got to make his move. But the thing is, the 3 is still right there. Even if he makes his move as he is right now going low, the number 3 is right back with him a lap later, and he's making a move. And we're up on the blimp right now, brought to you by Checkered Flag Interactive, watching this battle for the lead as we see the number 3 all over 14's bumper. He's waiting to make his move. He's coming so close to getting contact, though. This is great for the two. These guys are racing so hard. The 14 dives low to make a block. Doesn't matter. He's blocking him all the way to the white line, all the way back up to the wall. It looks like tempers could get a little bit flared here if he does that too many times.
Right now we're going to go on the gyro cam with Brandon Chibirko. They've still got a great battle going on for the lead, and See if he maybe is going to try to drive it in there a little bit deeper in turn 1 to see if he can clear the 14.
And we seen him drive it in deep early on, and that caused an accident, actually. Brian Harvey got pushed up into the wall. Just like that, he pushes up. The 14 crosses over on the inside. Great race going on right now, and Josh Chaney's just sitting there watching. Or Jose Gonzalez again, sorry.
Yeah, I mean, this is some of the best racing I've ever seen. Just constantly swapping the lead, and they are keeping it pretty clean, so that's always a good sign.
But again, you really have to see how long that's going to last, because you see the 3 all over the 14. The 14 makes his move on the 3, and the 3 is just right back there making another move on him.
Yeah, neither of these guys are content running second. They want the win.
Oh, and there we go. He saved. Oh boy, the 3 went to make the move on 14. The 14 blocked, bumper hooked him. The 3 got wiggly up and down on the backstretch. He somehow pulls it together and saves it, but he loses just about half a second on the leader, and that could be it for him.
Yeah, we saw something similar happen to Brandon Chibirko last week. He was leading with about 2 to go, and he got loose on the backstretch at Daytona, and that, I think, hurt his chances of the win last week.
He's going to be digging for everything he's got, even more so now, and I don't know. There's just over half a second worth of gap between the two of them. He doesn't have any more lap-down cars to deal with in front of him, but he has a target to chase down, and that target is right now pulling away from him as they go through 3 and 4.
Yeah, Brandon Chibirko has a lot of ground to make up in these next 4 laps, and I don't know if he can do it.
While he's had a fast car all night long, that's just a huge gap to make up. Getting closer to a second now, that is a huge gap, and Josh Chaney's loving every little bit of that gap.
Yeah, and that time by Josh Chaney was 2/10 faster, so I think he is continuing to, put a gap on Brandon Chibirko, and I think right now, as long as he takes it easy, he's got it.
Yeah, you can afford to lose that 1/10 of a second when it comes between hitting yourself in the wall and losing the race, and just letting the guy behind you reel you in a little bit each lap. I think right now he's in the best position we've seen all night long. And Brandon Chibirko, he just isn't gaining that much on him. He gained just over a 10th last lap, but that's not enough with only 3 laps to go here.
Yeah, right now, as long as Josh Chaney doesn't make any mistakes, I think, like I said, he's got it, and I think he's probably going to take it easy.
And the 3 had to check up coming off of turn 1 and 2. He got dangerously close to that wall. That allowed the 26 to look low. And Brandon Chibirko, he made the block on the 26. And that might cost him a little bit of momentum. It looks like the gap got quite a bit smaller through 3 and 4, and it looks like there's just under half a second. Things are going to get good here with 2 laps to go at Michigan International Super Speedway. 4 miles left. Just under 4 miles left. Can he get to his bumper? Can he make the pass? Brandon Chibirko, Josh Chaney, 2-car battle for the lead.
Oh, I think it might be close. Brandon Chibirko has been reeling him in. He might be able to get there.
And right now you see him digging so hard through the corner. He's going to have momentum coming off. It's going to get even closer. He cuts it down to about a quarter of a second. But that's still not to his bumper. That's still not in front of him. It is so close, but I don't think he's going to do it unless Josh Chaney slips up. He's going to dive it hard into turn 1 and 2. Get really close. Is he going to be able to keep it off of the wall, get that momentum? It's going to get even closer as the 14 has to let off. Oh, boy.
Oh, and the 3 is right there. He's going to have a chance at this. It'll be interesting to see how this next corner goes.
He's on the high side, on his bumper, they touch, and Brandon Chibirko around almost off of his bumper. This is Josh Chaney's race to win. Brandon Chibirko gave it everything he had, but that's still not enough. He got on his bumper, and it shot him right off. He saved it, and he'll come away with second place. But Josh Chaney in the number 14 will be your winner after 80 laps at Michigan International Super Speedway.
Yeah, that was the last, or almost all race, we had a great battle, and you gotta give props to Brandon Chibirko. He gave it all he had those last few laps when we thought he was out of it.
And what a finish that was. I'm sure the fans at home loved it, and I loved it up here. I had no idea what was going to happen. When I saw the number 3 get up to his bumper, I thought it was going to be the 14 that went around because he got loose. But what happened was the 3 got sent around from him getting loose. Wow.
Yeah, but all in all, that was a great race and a great finish.
For the limited amount of drivers we had on the track tonight, that was a great race all around. A couple cautions, but you know what? We had a ton of great racing, even 2 and 3 wide racing.
Yeah, and right now Josh Cheney's gonna do a big burnout on the front stretch.
And he definitely earned it. He did a great job fending off Brandon Chibirko. And as I said, I think he was in the best spot out there when it came down to it. And when it really came down to the wire, he was able to hold him off. And Brandon Chibirko did slip up at one point, and that is what definitely costed him dearly.
Yeah, but like we said, Brandon Chibirko made one heck of a run there at the end. When he got loose, and I thought he was out of it, but came back and had a shot at it.
Yeah, to be honest with you, I thought he was done, because he was almost all the way around at one point. He was so loose. He fishtailed it halfway down that backstretch. He did a great job, great save, awesome recovery, and I'm pretty sure he's happy with that second place finish. And we will swing off to a commercial break super quick here as we get a couple interviews lined up after the race. And we're back, and we're going to take this time to interview your winner tonight in the number 14, Josh Cheney. Give me just a second here. Josh Cheney, you got a copy. Steve Bonesteel in the booth.
Yep.
You came away with the win. How'd you do it?
Blocking. A lot of blocking and just trying to time it right at the end there so I wouldn't burn my stuff up because I knew Brandon was pretty quick, so I just didn't want to burn my stuff up too fast.
Yeah, we saw that up here for sure. You were doing a great job blocking, and ultimately that kept him behind you, and he was using the crossover to do everything he could, but we also saw you use it once or twice. What do you think? Was that the move to make, or was it too early for people to be doing the crossover like that?
You know, I have a philosophy. I race people how they race me. So when he raced me that hard at the beginning of the race, I figured I'd do the same at the end. So I'm sure it's going to be a long 6 races I think we have left. So I pretty much say the crossover moves were a little too early.
If he would have gotten into you on that last corner where you got loose and he would have been able to make the pass, would have you been okay with the second place, or would that be something you'd be taking up with him after the race?
I'm looking big picture. I'm looking to win the championship. I mean, as long as I get a top 1, 2, or 3, I'm okay with that. Just looking big picture at the moment.
Yeah, definitely. Race 2 of 8. You've got a long ways to go, as you said. So you wanted to race smart, and in the end, it worked out for you. You got the win. But who do you have to thank for this win tonight? Who did it for you, other than yourself?
Pretty much my sponsor, AXO, I should say, Sanitary, Douglas with the Hippie Paint Shop. And I think that's it.
Well, for sure. We'll see you next week, hopefully, and I wish you luck next week, and hopefully we'll see you up front and having some fun.
Thank you. Oh, and I'd like to thank you guys, too, for broadcasting this, too.
We thank you for putting on the show. Everyone at home definitely enjoyed it. And we will bring Doug Roth up into the booth. Chris?
And we're here with our third place finisher, Doug Roth. Doug, you had a pretty solid race. You ran up front most of the race, led some laps. Just tell us a little bit about it.
It was a good race. I mean, the Hibby's Paint Shop STP. I mean, we were up front, like you said, most of the race. We just didn't have enough for Trebenko and Cheney and a couple of those guys up front. It is what it is. We had a third place car, and we'll take it. We're looking at the points and everything. It's a good finish for us tonight.
Coming into this race, were you thinking going for the win, or were you just mainly focused on points, going for a top 5?
No, I mean, every race, I think you ask any race car driver, they're always in it to win it. But you also got to look at the competition in this series, and some stiff competition. So I knew it was going to be tough. So anytime I can get a top 5 or a top 10, I'm happy. But a win would definitely would have been sweet.
And who you have to? Anybody want to give any shout outs to?
Yeah, it's just Hippie Doug and hippiespaintshop.com. Your one-stop shop for all your car paints. He does all my paint jobs. I'd like to thank RSR. I'd like to thank ITSR and AXO Sanitary. That's pretty much it.
All right. Well, thank you and good run tonight.
Hey, thanks a lot, Chris. Appreciate it.
And with that, we've completed 80 laps tonight at Michigan International Superspeedway in the B-Class car. And Josh Cheney will walk away with the victory tonight. He'll be taking it on next week. Will he be able to get the win? Who knows? It's anyone's game once again as we go back to a superspeedway. I'm Steve Bonesteel in the booth, and I'm signing off for Chris Largent and the rest of Checkered Flag Interactive. See you next week.